So let's talk dragons. So what do you get when a dragon sneezes? Out of the way, especially when this dragonborn has a cold. Joking aside, let's talk Shyvana. Now, some quick background information. Shyvana is a hybrid champion, meaning that she can both go build an AD or AP. With that said, let's go into her passive, which is Fury of the Dragonborn. It has two parts to it. First part is that Shyvana deals 20% bonus physical and magical damage to all dragons. Additionally, Shyvana starts off with a bonus armor and magic resistance, which is permanently increased by 5 for every elemental drake that she or her team slays. That includes the Cloud Drake, Infernal Drake, Mountain Drake, and Ocean Drake, and the Elder Drake. Shyvana's Q is Twin Bite. Upon activation, Shyvana's next basic attack within 6 seconds deals 100% of your AD and 25% of your AP, and causes her to strike again within a quarter of a second, dealing bonus physical damage. The second strike applies on-hit and on-attack effects for 100% of its effectiveness and is affected by its critical strike. Next is her W, Burnout. Upon activation, Shyvana surrounds herself in flame for 3 seconds, gaining bonus movement speed and dealing magical damage to nearby enemies per second. Basic attacking enemies during Burnout deals 25% of Burnout's damage to all enemies surrounding Shyvana and extends her Burnout duration by 1 second, up to 4 times for a maximum of 7 seconds. Shyvana's third and final ability is Flame Breath. Upon activation, Shyvana unleashes a fireball in the target direction, stopping upon colliding with the enemy champion and dealing magic damage to all enemies hit and marking them for 5 seconds. Shyvana's basic attacks against marked enemies deal 3.75% of the target's maximum health as bonus magic damage on hit, capped at 150 against monsters. And finally, we have Shyvana's ultimate, Dragon's Descent. Its passive is Fury. Shyvana requires 100 of it in order to cast it, and gains Fury passively per second, and gains 2 Fury per basic attack in either human form or dragon form, and as well as when she first learns it. As for the active, Shyvana transforms into a ferocious dragon, dashing with displacement immunity to the target location and carrying and dealing magic damage to all enemies that she passes through. While Shyvana is in dragon form, her basic abilities have their own effects. Starting with Twin Bite, Shyvana instantly attacks all enemies in a cone around her target before applying Twin Bite's effects to each of them. The basic attack deals 100% AD and 25% AP physical damage, and it is affected by critical strike modifiers and will apply on-hit effects to each of the targets. The second strike cannot critically strike nor trigger on-hit effects, but it will still apply on-hit effects. Additionally, Twin Bite's empowered attack becomes unstoppable. Moving on to Shyvana's W, Burnout has an increased effect radius scaling with Dragon Descent's rank. Finally, Shyvana's E, Flame Breath. In her dragon form, Flame Breath explodes upon hitting an enemy champion or reaching the target location, dealing increased magic damage to them and surrounding enemies, and scorching the earth for 4 seconds. Enemies standing in the scorched earth take 30 to 60 based on level, plus 5% AD, plus 10% AP magic damage every half second. Now with all this said and done, onwards to gameplay and some builds. So as I said before, Shyvana is both AD and AP. Let's start with the more mainstream Shyvana builds, which is currently in the meta right now, AP. What I like to do is I like to do Domination Sorcery or Precision and Sorcery. Now, if you're going to go Domination and Sorcery, what you're going to be taking is you're going to take Dark Harvest, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, and Domination. And in Sorcery, you're going to take Transcendence, Scorch. As for your 3 modifiers, a nice standard attack speed, damage, and armor is always useful. This next set of runes is going to be more for your AD, or if you want to be less of a glass cannon as an AP Shyvana, you're going to be taking Precision and Domination. You're going to be taking Conqueror, Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace and Precision. And for Domination, you're going to be taking Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter. And use the same 3 modifiers. with all that said and done, let's get into some gameplay now. We're gonna just kind of brush over builds because, one, builds are subjective. I could say, hey, you should be building AP Shyvana, or you should be building AD. It's really up to you. Each has their strong suit and their purpose. AP is more glass candy as it is now. AD, you're gonna be more of a tank. Just, Shyvana's a very versatile champion. You should be doing what you want to do, what would fit the team best. As for gameplay now, if you remember from my last video about the basics of jungling, start a buff, and start clearing. As this game goes, really right now, mid's pushed out, bots kind of in a decent position to gank, but you always want to do your buffs first. See how, things are looking throughout the lanes. Once you get kind of a feel for everything, for what does what, how long it takes you to kill a camp, you can start doing what I'm doing, just kind of like panning over and not really paying attention to the camps. Minimap, always your best thing. My personal route I like going the best is red or blue, and it's red, then blue, and Gromp. But we come up top, try to go, ping the Poppy, going. I don't get the kill Poppy does, that's perfect. I don't need it. I'm doing an AP Shyvana build in this game. We're doing some Dark Harvest, so we're gonna hurt a lot. You can actually use the AP build with some slight modification. If you're taking Conquer, you'll be a little more tanky, have some more survivability. But this game, we're gonna be doing a build I like to do, and yeah. So a little later into the match, after I ganked top for the second time, I come back. I'm starting to build one of my items. Good kind of practice with Shyvana is, remember that her Q's cooldown is reduced with every auto attack. So having some attack speed implemented into a build is always great. Pyke comes up to try to help Poppy. Poppy dies. Pyke does get the kill on a Mumu. Kind of low, we're running. Now, a really good thing about being a jungler is you have to, as well, always pay attention to your lanes. So if I wasn't paying attention, I could probably bet you we wouldn't have killed Kiana here. And me knowing for a fact that mid doesn't have his laner for a little bit, bot lane is pushed to their turret. I have a nice easy dragon, nice good cloud drake. Helps always having that early drake. Try to get it as early as possible. You want to set the pace of the game. You don't want the enemy jungler to say, hey, this is how we're going to play it. We're going to play at my speed. No. You play at your speed. You try to set that pace. You keep track of your timers. And you got this. It's golden. It's a little bit of the match. We're going in for a gank bot lane. It's kind of scuffed just a tiny bit. Ganking's an art, and sometimes even someone with experience can fuck up. But, you bide, wait your time. You wait for all of these things to add up. Like, whose movement's been used, who does what. Support for support, it's worth, in my book. We got a Mumu's ult, which is about like a 3-minute cooldown. My ult for that means nothing, just because of the fact that, if you remember, Shyvana's ult is based off her Fury meter, which means she just gets it from auto attacking and passive. One thing I forgot to mention in Shyvana's like Fury generation is that Cloud Drake doesn't affect the cooldown, but it adds Fury per second. It's not by much, but it's still, it'll add up. Now, if you notice in the bottom left-hand screen, that little icon, where if you remember from when I was going over the runes, Dark Harvest, to do a little quick cover of this, basically what it does is when a champion is at X health, next time you attack them, it does bonus damage. So Mumu tower dives. There's nothing really he can do. He doesn't have ult. I ult. And go in through the wall, because Shyvana's thing is a lovely little mobility. And then, you know, blast from afar, and you can see Dark Harvest proc in there. That little soul, if you would, went from Kiana to me, increasing my stacks. And the more stacks you do, the more damage you do. So that's why usually AP Shyvana, you want to be taking Dark Harvest. And I don't know what that Maokai was doing. Like, he knew I was in mid lane. He just, like, giving it to the support would have been a lot more worth than giving it to an AP Shyvana. Big way you can tell it is just look at the runes. You see Electrocute or you see Dark Harvest on, like, hybrid champions. Unless it's Kayn. Like, let's just focus on Shyvana. Like, you see Dark Harvest or Electrocute, I will bet you $5 of RP that Shyvana is going AP. Now, if it's the Shyvana with Conqueror, press the attack, it's kind of a 50-50, more than maybe 60-40, if they're going to go AD to AP. The only difference between an AP Shyvana with Conqueror is that they're going to go an item that gives you more lifesteal, so they're more survival, they're a little tankier. We're coming up top here, and I've clearly caught up with the Mumu and CS and everything, and Mumu kind of now realizes that I am a threat. I am scary. If you are behind, don't be afraid to just farm and try to catch up. It is the most smart thing to do. Don't be a hero. Don't try like, hey, I'm behind, but I'm gonna just keep ganking and try to help my team. No. That's not how it works. You're part of the team. Helping the team is just farming. I'm going after Kiana here. We got another Dark Harvest deck. She ults and everything. Gets away, but doesn't mean that me and Pyke aren't gonna go for like bot lane or something. At least Pyke. Big little takeaway about AP Shyvana is that you want to use your ult. Your ult is where you're gonna get your big damage from. We're going through this entire match, and you're gonna realize that. So we're pausing the video for a hot second for one thing. If you paid attention, notice that I don't have Smite. Yeah, make sure you have Smite when you're doing Dragon. So, you know, little team fight breaks out. I died to a Mumu and Azrael and everything. I was kind of low. It's fine. We skip a little bit into the match, and, you know, shit's still going down. I don't have full ult yet, but once you have around, like, almost 10 stacks of Dark Harvest, you're kind of scary. So, you know, nice little thing about Shyvana, just, you know, if you're close to it and you need it for, like, a fight or something, just farm. Just, you know, whack something a little bit. Your ult's going to be your best weapon. Even if you're AP, you still get, you know, armor, do more damage, your abilities are empowered. So we have my ult. We're going in. Kiana already has her dash. She, you know, she dashed. I flashed her ult, which I'm very proud about. I get the kill with Smite, killing Kiana with using Dark Harvest. So there's a little caveat with this match that I haven't really talked about. So every champion on my team does physical damage. But here's the thing. Everyone forgets Shyvana does also magical damage. You can see, if you have some semblance of where I'm getting, kudos to you. If not, basically what I'm saying is that, let's look at this. Look at their items real quick. Pause. Yeah. They're all predominantly armor items. And all of my items are magical items. So they don't have resistance to me. Now, will this happen every game? No. Was this hysterical? Yes, it was. It was quite funny playing this game. Like, why aren't they building situationally? That's the big reason why I'm not going over any builds. Is because, me personally, build situationally. Like, if they have a lot of lifesteal, build some, if you're a tank, build like Thornmail, so when they attack you, you apply Grievous wounds. Or if you use magic, get a Morellos for the Grievous. The Grievous wounds, can't speak. Or if you're AD, Executioner's Calling. Yeah. So if you're paying attention, do you remember what I said about the difference between AP and AD Shyvana? One's a glass cannon, one's really tanky. Yeah. You can see here, I go in the back line to deal with Ezreal and Qiyana. Some go forward, some go out. I take out the Qiyana. I almost take out the Renekton. But, you know, I can only do so much with all my damage. However, you know, my team is quite stacked. You know, I've been helping out the other lanes. They've been winning lanes. Yeah. Nothing much to it. We win the fight for Dragon. And yeah. Like at this point, I believe the enemy team is like shit. We're really behind, and you can even see it watching the replay. At this point, we are about, let's just say 5k gold ahead. And you look at the items, they're still not building any magic resistance for me. So 17 stacks of Dark Harvest and the Shyvana Dragon Form E kinda hurts. And by kinda hurts, I mean we're gonna blow people up that don't have a lot of health, like Ezreal and Qiyana. Like Exhibit A, that's just about to happen. It's great, trust me. You know, little thing to always have as a jungler: just start sweeper, unless you're Lee Sin. You see, like, you know, we're trying to try to, you know, juke me out, put season, whatnot. Like, we're not having it. But, you know, I didn't do anything in my Dragon Farm tuner except fly into him. The enemy team has a lot more wards on their side, but, you know, vision game is half the game if it's close, but this game is just kind of a slaughter. Albeit, any match that draws out longer and longer, just eventually the inevitable, alright, who's gonna win the team fight now? Is it gonna be your team or the enemy team? And late game team fights matter. It's not, alright, can we take out one person and then just leave? Yes, that kinda does help, because the later the game gets, the longer the death timer is. But, if you're starting out playing League, and your game's gone for an hour, it's just because your team doesn't know how to end the match. It happens. Happened to me, it happened to pretty much everyone. Some people just like having a gauntlet, and just wail on people, and it's great. And again, love having, you know, good wards. It's a great thing, especially when you can do ambushes like this and have a team fight for dragon that's coming in about 30 seconds or 2 minutes. You know, I scuff my dash, but you know, it's fine. We're still dealing damage, flashing in, throwing my. He's trying to get to Shyvana. It's not gonna happen. You know, it explodes upon hitting minions too, so it's but you know, team fight 1. You know, we did lose Poppy's ult and Senna's ult, but you know, 2 ults for 2 kills. Is it worth? Sorta, kinda ish. But you know, we're gonna zoom into the last team fight, or if you want to call it that. But notice I have 21 stacks of Dark Harvest. That's a lot of damage I'm gonna be doing. You know, me and Amumu say hello. Like, what's up, Mumu? Go our separate ways. And, you know, I start playing a little back because I've realized, you know, they kind of like the focus beat down if I go in. So, I'm waiting to see what's going on. Yeah, right now, I'm starting to finally build resistances over doing damage, but still, none of them have any magic resistance. Pyke lands a hook, everyone goes in onto the Renekton ults. Renekton ult dashes backwards. I try to dodge the roots from Maokai. Does not really happen that well. However, everyone's not focusing on the Pyke that gets away. I finally ult in. I throw my E at Ezreal and just blast his ass. Look at that. About 80% of his health. Kill him with Smite. I realize Pyke's fine and lets me help the rest of my team with Arsena almost dead, and just, you know, they have that bloodthirsty look in their eyes. Doesn't help them out very much when, you know, there's other people here that can deal damage. And we get Dragon, and after that, they surrender. Little caveat with this is, you know, Shyvana, very versatile. She can do AP or AD. And each has their own pros and cons. AP, you can do a lot of damage. Con, you can't survive much. AD, you don't do as much damage, but you survive more, and you're more of a tank.